they seem all just to be jogging against a reasonable rate. They went quite a long way past the start, and they're approaching steadily enough. Short run to the first, and we're off and racing. For our feature race, it's the Somerset National. And out in the lead early on, we have Nearly Perfect in company with Midnight Tune. One of us is right there with the front rank with the King's Writ as they arrive at the first, which they're all over safely. Adieu Vivant and Gleno, the back markers early on. It's already spinning the turn towards the line of fences up the home straight. Midnight Tune in the purple and red colours for Ben Godfrey in the cheek pieces, disputing the lead with Nearly Perfect on the right-hand side in the yellow and red, and One of Us who's staying more towards the inside for Tom Scudamore. And they are the first three to arrive at the second. One of Us rose in the lead, and they're all over. Gleno didn't get overly high, and it's an honest early gallop being set by one of the lightweights. One of Us out in the lead from in second place, Midnight Tune. 3 lengths back to Limited Reserve, who takes that fence alongside Nearly Perfect. Cyclop, who can race close to the speed, finds himself at this stage just worse than midfield with Dawson City and another venture wide out as One of Us is over the fourth. And back markers over it remain Gleno and Dieu Vivant. So out in the lead at an honest pace. It is One of Us on the inside and being kept honest by Midnight Tune. And these two once again head for head as they turn right-handed. Racing in third is Limited Reserve. Now this slight colour change, blue with the white stars on the inside of the King's Writ. Nearly Perfect, who jumped off with a share of the lead, but this strong gallop has seen Nearly Perfect back in fifth place as they head towards the water jump. Another venture comes next, and then a gap to Dawson City, Cyclop, and the last two Gleno, and last of all is Dieu Vivant as they take the water jump. So all over that, and swinging right-handed, still with a long way to go. And out in the lead, it is still One of Us who has the advantage by half a length from Midnight Tune. Third place is Limited Reserve, just ahead of the King's Writ. And right on the outside, Nearly Perfect, who's right back with that pair as they take that fence. All over safely, Cyclops still 3 from the back, as they'll now make their way around the side of what would be usually an open ditch.
I'm missing opportunities here, but I've got cramp in my foot.
The gallop is pretty unrelenting. One for Us leading by a length from Midnight Tune. 3 lengths back to Limited Reserve as they move back onto the racing line. Nearly Perfect comes next with the King's Writ, and then another venture in the pale colours with the noseband. Dawson City is wider out, then Cyclop as they take another plain one. It's to the rear at the moment with Gleno and Dieu Vivant. First of the open ditches, it is number 8 of the 20. One of Us on the inside. It rises in second behind Midnight Tune there. Gleno jumped to the right, and Cyclop now finds himself right at the back of the field, although it has been run at a decent pace and there's a long way to go. So Midnight Tune, she is on the outside of One of Us as they've just about completed their first circuit. Nearly Perfect has moved back through into third place. In fourth now is another venture who races on the outside of in fifth Limited Reserve. King's Writ drifted back to sixth, then Dawson City Gleno as they reach the cross fence, which Midnight Tune handles well. Limited Reserve wasn't great, and Cyclop, who can be such an enthusiastic jumper, seemed to find that quite hard work at the back. But still, Lee Pinchin has the horse in touch, albeit a good 12 lengths behind the leaders. And those leaders remain Midnight Tune up the centre of the racecourse, on the inside One of Us. They have the advantage from Nearly Perfect, who is in third place with Limited Reserve, and another venture in the noseband. The King's Writ comes next, as One of Us is back in the lead. There, and we lose there another venture. Hampered in the process, Gleno. Cyclop was slightly caught up in the backwash. Dieu Vivant has made progress and is now sitting in round about a 7th or 8th place as the leaders make their way over the next. Midnight Tune and One of Us. Limited Reserve gave that a pretty big belt as they make their way. Pleased to say the loose horse is up and the rider is up as well from another venture. Midnight Tune is over the next, has regained the lead from One of Us in this tug of war for heading the chase. As out in the lead, it's Midnight Tune by a length from One of Us in second place, who for the first time has just pushed along slightly. In third is Nearly Perfect, then the King's Writ. And then this rear group are beginning to get a little bit closer now. Limited Reserve in fifth place. Gleno just had a little bit of a nudging match with Dieu Vivant as they took the corner. Dawson City and still Cyclop, the back marker, but if anything, slightly closer now than Cyclop was when they turned into the home straight. Meanwhile, up front, it's still Midnight Tune and One of Us. they are cracking on with things. In third place, the
I'm
King's
out of here, man.
Just ahead of in fourth, nearly perfect as they take the turn. Dawson City on the outside of Limited Reserve. Then Gleno with the Dieu Vivant as they make their turn into the back straight. Cyclops still the back marker. Head for head. One of us and Midnight Tune head towards the first down the back. Midnight Tune arrives at it in the lead. One of us is a length down. They all take that. Gleno again made a mistake. That was a real cruncher and drops him to the back of the field. As out in the lead, Midnight Tune. The longest run to the next. Lead from One of Us in second. The King's Writ on the outside of Nearly Perfect. Limited Reserve comes next from Dawson City. Cyclops is now beginning to get a little bit closer. Under Lily Pinchin towards the outside of the field with Dieu Vivant. And after that error, Gleno is the back marker.
I'm out of here, man.
Towards a plain fence. Midnight Tune is over in the lead with One of Us. They're 3 lengths to the good over the King's Writ. Then in fourth is Nearly Perfect. Dawson City is beginning to stay on in the red cap. Then Limited Reserve and Cyclops as they head towards the final open ditch on the far side. Midnight Tune is over in the lead. Now the King's Writ has moved through to dispute second place with One of Us. Fourth for Nearly Perfect. Then Dawson City. Cyclops continuing to edge closer in sixth place with Limited Reserve. It has been a dour test for the Somerset National, and the field are pretty well bunched now as they make their way towards 4 from the finish. Midnight Tune out in the lead, but the King's Writ moving strongly in second. Then behind these, Nearly Perfect on the outside of One of Us. Dawson City being ridden along Cyclops. Dieu Vivant still travels okay in the noseband in about 7th place, but is ridden on landing. Limited Reserve and Gleno. Midnight Tune, heart on her sleeve, out in the lead. The King's Writ in second place is still moving strongly for Harry Cobden. Then in third, Nearly Perfect, yellow and red. One of Us under pressure. Then Limited Reserve. Behind these is Dawson City. Cyclops trying now to get going up on the outside, but still with a lot of work to do as they race down towards the third last. Midnight Tune, the King's Writ rises in front for the first time. The King's Writ's travelling strongly. Over on the inside, Nearly Perfect. Oh, Dawson City throws his hat into the ring as they gallop relentlessly down towards the second last. Out in the lead, the King's Writ and Dawson City move on. The King's Writ takes the chance at the second last, still has the advantage. Dawson City in second. Limited Reserve comes down when held, down towards the last. The King's Writ on the left, Dawson City on the right, and the old boy Dawson City is away from the last alongside the King's Writ as they set off at the running. Dawson City narrowly towards the line. Another national for a local hero. Dawson City for Millie Wallacots and Polly Gundry. The King's Writ made it a great renewal. Cyclops ran on for third, never really involved with Nearly Perfect, and back in fifth, Gleno.
Oh, what a thrilling race for a cold Thursday afternoon here in Somerset. These two have really warmed us up, and what a performance from Dawson City.